This is The Shade's Tale. It's an Ironclaw second edition game. I want to start out as we traditionally start all Ironclaw games by going around, introducing all of the players and their player characters. And I'd like to hear from you what your characters' mottos are, and if you have a starting goal, let's talk about those too. And let's do this. Let me see. I actually don't have a good order for this, so let's start with maybe Theta. I'll go clockwise around my Discord screen.
All right. I am Theta. I run the channel. Also, I am today playing Father Elrich, the Queeling Almoner. You know what? I should go into some depth here. I look like a brown, brown, what is like a ruddy brown coloration to me. Got the horn, as most Queelings do. I typically wear my white robes, but I also have that crisscross of leather straps that keep it form-fitting to my outfit. Also typically seen to be wearing a I don't know exactly what the word for it is, like a book pouch, like a leather book pouch on my side.
Satchel?
Satchel, yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, when I looked it up online, all I found was word the pouch constantly. So, either way, satchel works. If I'm spoken to, I will typically preach the main line of penitence. But personally, if you talk to me on my own, I will tell you all about Athanasia because that's what I personally believe. I'll toe the company line, but I will tell you my own thoughts in private. I am of the Holy Order of the Ardent, of the Dusang. I am mostly the mind. I am not of the body. My personality is ataraxic. My motto is the dark cannot claim what the light does not surrender. And I have the goal of embedding myself in a traveling company.
All right, excellent. Up next, we have who is this? I'm sorry because this is the first time I'm saying a lot of these names, but it's Arcloyd.
Yes.
All right, take it away.
I am Arcloyd. Now, you'll forgive me for mispronouncing this because I took French like 20, 30 years ago. But I am playing Comer Lever de Clavis, the Raccoon Knight. He is a red raccoon, where most normal raccoons are brown. They are brick red, and their black markings are reddish tinged. He wears a suit of alumen over, good sturdy travel clothes, and carries a rapier and buckler. His goal is to find a squire, and his motto is one hand washes the other.
All right, excellent. And next up, we have Griffin.
Hey there. All right, let's see who I got here today. I'm Griffin, and I'm playing Gaston, the Ibis Warlock. He has a determined personality, and his motto is that he is perfection incarnate. His goal, of course, though, is to prove that he's the better fighter.
That's great. And so, prove the better fighter. I assume you're talking about Connor there in that one.
It's kind of generic. Like, if he gets a chance to prove he's a better fighter than someone, he'll take it.
Case by case. Gotcha. All right. Last but not least, we have Rafferty.
Hello, world. Yes, I am Norman Rafferty. Today I am playing Anushka, a microbat messenger. And my motto is no fear, and serve with joy. And yes, I'm a very modestly colored for a microbat. But yes, I'm a professional messenger. And my starting goal is deliver a message.
Okay, cool.
But I'm full of ideas and excited for adventure.
That's excellent. I have to ask, Microbat, is she particularly small? A small character?
Yeah, I'm only 8 hands and only 6 stone.
All right.
So it's pretty tiny. Like Gaston. Is anybody in the party a giant?
Not a giant, no.
No,
I suppose ibises are tall.
Well, no, giant would be someone who has the gift of giant. Oh, a giant would be over 20. Well, we go by an average person would be about 10 to 12 hands tall in this world, which is pretty short. That's like 4.5, 5 feet tall. That's the model we went with because we liked short macros. We went with the Robin model. Or
Again, if everyone's at the same relative height, it's like, well, everyone seems normal.
yeah, so normal height in this world is pretty short. But by micro bat, I mean I'm not a fruit. The fruit bats and the vampire bats are much larger.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, and I'm Red. I'll be GMing this fiasco. This is not my first time GMing Ironclaw, but I'm definitely the newbie in this group, so there's probably going to be some learning going on in the process, but I'm looking forward to it. So I appreciate everyone's patience up front when we run into rules issues, but it's a system that I've admired it from afar for quite a long time, and I was lucky enough to get to run it for a couple months. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Before we jump in completely, I want to quickly mention safety tools, just because I think it's important that that's brought up in a new group, and we're going to go through this like very, very quick. I like to use shorthand, so fast forward, which means that if a scene you don't want to go into detail, we can just skip right by it basically without really altering things in the plot. Rewind if something happened that you find morally detestable or that is ruining your fun. We can retcon it essentially. Pause is when you want to keep is when you're in it, you want the action to continue, but you need a minute, and that's totally cool too. And I also want to mention that if there's anything that's going on that you want to bring up, but you don't want to bring it up publicly, you can always message me privately over Discord, and I'll handle it. So,
have you seen the X card thing?
I have seen. I've seen a bunch of different versions of this. We can use X card too if that's something that everyone's familiar with.
The simple one, we've been putting it in our newer games. The simple one we implement is just look, if someone puts an X down or types an X or whatever, we just stop and stop doing whatever it is. No questions asked. We keep it simple.
Yeah. Hey,
I like all that. I'm glad. We're setting boundaries.
Yeah, I just think it's due diligence. I like that it's becoming a lot more normalized in the hobby. I personally have rarely ever run into situations like that, but it's important to know that it's there. So yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask you guys a role-playing question about your characters. This is for me to learn a little bit about them. So I'm going to ask you this question, and then I'm going to read a little intro that I have provided. And when I'm done reading the intro, I'm going to go around and have you guys answer the question so that I can get a little bit of an idea of where your characters stand on a particular topic. So in this setting, we might deviate a little bit from the standard canon storylines found in the Ironclaw 2nd edition book, but I did want to draw a little bit from them. So we're going to jump ahead in the timeline a little bit. The King Rinaldi has died, and his throne has been taken over by one Vaslov Jakoba, who is kind of, in the book, he's listed as a villain. And so I guess the question that I want to ask your characters is, where were you when you heard the news that the king was dead, and what was your reaction? So think about that. I'm going to read this thing quick, and then we'll go around and we'll talk about it. All right. So, the king is dead. Long live the king. The High King Rinaldi has died, and Vaslov Jakoba has inherited the Rinaldi throne, to the dismay of some and to the delight of others. In the turbulent months that follow, it is clear that some do not accept the authority of this new king. Recently, there have been attacks against royals and noblemen traveling along the Via Salutis Road, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, which runs along the length of Calabria, west to east. About halfway between the city Harrogate and the Three Corners Fort, this road passes by a small village of Mage Cross, and cuts through the neighboring wood, known colloquially as the Haunted Forest. It is here that the attacks take place, leaving no survivors, only broken caravans and corpses. It is the locals' opinion that these attacks are the work of malevolent spirits that haunt the forest, but popular belief among the nobility is that the deeds belong to a notorious villain known only as Tassobianco, a mysterious bandit leader whose distaste for the current monarchy is self-evident. Fed up with his men's inability to kill this bandit, King Jakoba has decided to burn the village of Mage Cross and the surrounding forests to the ground. However, his religious advisor, Archbishop Brecken of the Penitents Church, has begged for a stay of execution. He plans to hire a mercenary group to investigate the town and capture Tassobianco alive. The king has agreed to give them 1 week to root out the insurgents, with the wry suggestion that he hire men who are either exceptionally skilled or uncommonly fireproof. I hope that I got all of the name pronunciations.
I like that. Uncommonly fireproof. None of this common fireproofing.
No. I look forward to role-playing King Jakoba.
Do they have like a vetting process for that? Okay, next. Whoosh. You said you were
exactly. Yep. Now just step into the pit.
I mean, it comes up a lot in Dunwasser, I'm sure.
I also like the question, are we sure if the king is villainous? What's his first edict? Oh yeah, if you can't stop all this crime, we will burn your village to the ground.
Maybe you just don't know his side of the story. There's two sides to every story. All right, so let's start with Theta. So Theta, where was Father Elrich when the regime changed, and how does he feel about it?
When he was informed, he was probably in the depths of the Polydestrous swamp. And I would say, because in my mind's eye, I'm imagining something like an Avengers sweep cut, I'm in on a hatch roof thing in the middle of a swamp, and a person comes by and informs me, and the sense of emotion you would get reading my face is relief.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Relief. How about Connor?
Connor was in his family's lands when he heard of this, and not knowing much about the good Jakoba, he didn't really see any reason to be concerned until he heard about that edict to have the village burned if Tassobianco wasn't found. So he has decided to do his duty to king and country and travel to Triskellion to become one of those mercenaries.
Excellent. Yes, and I might not have mentioned it, but yeah, we're going to start off in Triskellion, the famous port city in the south of Calabria. All right. So Griffin, your character is Gaston, correct? So how does Gaston feel?
Gaston probably feels as if it's none of his concern. These petty noble squabbles, of course someone was going to take the throne eventually, and good that someone finally did. But, well, this town and this burning thing, I bet I could show everyone just how great I am if I go over there.
Okay, all right. And finally, it's Anushka, correct?
Anushka, yes. Well, of course I knew about that because it's the busiest day. As a messenger, Triskellion, the only way to send stuff back and forth is through messengers. There's often, by the Renaissance model, there's often people hanging out just pages. They just hang out near rich people's houses. So someone can say, hey, here's a few Orchard pennies. I need you to deliver a note to somebody. And you do. And so, obviously, the day, there was a changeover in power, everyone was running around everywhere, delivering all kinds of messages. We were probably bumping into each other in the streets, trying to keep up with all of it. So, but I'm not from this country. Actually, my lineage goes back to Gorvoria, which is where the Jakoba dynasty comes from. So I have mixed feelings about this. I mean, one ruler is pretty much the same as another. Plus, also, I've seen the royalty at some of their worst. I mean, I don't read their messages, mostly because I can't read. Yeah, that was a pretty busy day. So I remember that as a pretty busy day.
All right, yeah. And I imagine that maybe not being able to read for some is would be considered a bonus as a messenger. I guess you don't have to worry about your mail being snooped on.
Yeah, that's they don't encourage us to learn how to read. In fact, Ironclaw is a weird game where if you don't have the gift of literacy, you can't read.
There you go.
So, I think all of us are anyway. No, some of us are wizards. The Chiling can read, right?
Yeah, I am literate.
And I can as well.
And so can I. I actually took the gift of literacy.
Wow.
Actually pursuing
So-
higher education.
So I'm the only one.
That's right. You're the dumb one.
Hey, in my other game, and I agree, it's literacy is rare, right, in this world, but I always find myself being the one guy in the group who can't read and always get made fun of for it, so I don't
Nah,
know.
I don't need it for my job. I'm not educated. I'm literally working class.
There you go.
You're literally working class.
But not literarily working class. All right, so thank you. All right, so we're going to start in the Cathedral De Temoin, which is the largest church, essentially, in the city of Triskellion. And I imagine also is probably the seat of the Holy See, basically the religious, the leading religious order in Triskellion.
I mean, it is.
Yeah, it might even be the big. It's might be the biggest building in all of Triskellion.
Well, I mean, it's built
And
on
all
the side of
progress.
it's built on the side of the miracle. Of course, it is.
Yeah. Well, the Holy See is the meaning of all of that. So yeah, I believe the pontiff actually lives there.
All right. One thing, yes, one thing to take notice, something that I took notice about this particular cathedral is that it overlooks the main market square. So in this, you've been called to a meeting with the Archbishop Brecken, and you're sitting in a very nicely furnished office. There's a stained glass window, and through the window you can look down on the people of Triskellion, and you can see sort of like the incredible diversity of life as people go around to their daily business. You know how loud it is out in those streets. You were out there just a moment before, but now you're in the relative austere quiet of this cathedral office. Archbishop Brecken is a Vole who has quite a large pair of gold-rimmed glasses and his, bishop vestments on, and he is flanked by a small sparrow who is glancing between all of you nervously. Brecken sits and addresses you each in turn, explaining the situation, which you guys have already been relatively briefed on. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm not sure why stuff needs to be explained to me. I'm just a messenger. Please don't kill me.
Yes, well, it's very important. He mentions he wants to explain to you the timeline. So he was given 1 week to complete this mission by the king. He mentions that taking the main roads to this town of Mage Cross on foot, it's a journey that takes about 3 days, which means that already you guys are working with a little bit of a time crunch. Now, he was intending to send along with you his, a deacon and kind of his personal assistant, and he gestures to the sparrow. He says, "This is Deacon Swift. I wish to send him along with you as a messenger of sorts, so that you can, you can report back to me. Swift is one of our fastest carriers. Maybe not the fastest, maybe not setting any kind of records among all flyers, but certainly amongst the clergy, he can get a message from Mage Cross back to Triskellion in about a day's time. So when you factor that in, the king is ready to burn the place down, essentially. And so he imagines that once you get there, you should have a couple days to perform your investigation to find this Tassobianco, to capture him, and then to send word back to Triskellion so that the message can be returned from Triskellion to the town, and the king can call off of his guards with their torches. So even though he says you have a week, time being what it is actually probably a little bit less than that. He says that for this task, he's going to pay from the church's coffers 100 denarii to each of you individually. If you can complete it, he would rather the villain be taken in alive, but dead is preferable as long as there's proof of death, essentially.
I'm gonna have to pick my jaw back up off the floor because that's more money than I've ever seen in my life.
Well, this is something that he believes strongly in, and he is in a position of power. One of the few people who could rival the monarchy of Triskellion in any kind of meaningful way in terms of resources.
He's also paying for a suicide rush mission, so of course the pay has to be good. Who else would be crazy enough to take it?
Quite. All right, so he asks you if you have any questions. He urges you to take your leave as soon as is possible, and he hopes that he's explained the situation clearly enough. But if there's any hesitation or anyone does not feel up to the task, he will understand.
We go to the village, we find the villain, we bring him back as soon as we possibly can. We send word as soon as it's done. Simple enough.
Indeed.
All right. He addresses Anushka specifically, and he says, I asked you here specifically because, as you may realize, the matter of communication is quite important in this mission. I will still send Swift along, as perhaps it would make things easier to share the burden of messaging. But if you think you can handle this on your own, Swift has other duties to attend to as well. Swift looks quite nervous. You get the sense that he's not eager at all to be involved in this mission.
I am no stranger to the streets or to the enormities that people can commit. If you think your people are better served serving in the ecclesiastical role, I am more than happy to enter the fray. I know no fear.
Quite. Swift breathes just a huge sigh of relief, a little audibly for Brecken's taste, and he gives him sort of a bit of a demeaning look there, or a chastising look. But he says, "Very well, then. This simplifies matters. Is there anything that you think you will need for your journey? We could cover some petty costs, such as transportation and travel expenses."
Can I have a gun?
He gives you a strange look and says, well, we are not, this may surprise some of you, but the church does not keep much of an armory on hand. There are craftsmen in Triskellion who I'm sure could accommodate you, but, well, such things are pricey, so I hear.
Right. So if you already
Okay,
have a carriage and you have food, that's at least half of the issue already done.
Yes, and we can provide those. We can provide those things for you. Okay, so it sounds like if there's no, you guys are ready to hit the road.
Well, I know I am.
I am.
I'm always ready.
Although I would like to hire a carriage or cart to take us there slightly faster if possible.
That's what they're providing.
Oh, so
Sure.
I don't need to use my wealth. Okay.
Yup. Oh, we have wealthy boy here.
Yes, a knight errant that actually has money.
It's amazing.
Wait, so you actually have an estate? You're just running around being an adventurer?
I'm doing my duty as a vassal to not only the Avar de Poix, but to the king of the country. This is no mere adventure.
I see. Duty first.
Well, I always agree with rich people. It's a matter of policy.
And life and death.
So I should ask. Sorry, I should ask. So does this mean that would your character be considered nobility?
Yes, I have the gift of nobility.
There you go. All right, that can be very useful going forward. Okay, so you all make your preparation.
Well, I'm assuming that in order to capture Tassobianco, we need someone with nobility because we need someone who actually has the authority to arrest people.
Oh yeah, I suppose so.
I mean, who among us has authority? Or who has nobility? There's two of us, right?
Who's the other one? No?
Griffin, what's your character again?
I'm a warlock.
Oh, okay. So only Arcloid has the authority to arrest, unless we're actually issued a warrant that, on the authority of the church, we're here to arrest you, which is somewhat suspect because whether the church can actually arrest people, the king could contest that, but I doubt he would. I mean, if they want to give us a warrant, that's up to them. But we actually have a noble who's actually allowed to arrest people.
That's actually a very good point. You are going to be provided with one. I don't think the Archbishop was expecting necessarily nobility to sign up. So he will have something drafted. And in this case, he certainly does have the permission of the king, at least verbal permission. So, yeah.
So basically, we have a letter that says we're authorized. This would be a warrant. Who's going to carry this?
That's a good question.
Well, I see none better than our nobility here.
No, he doesn't. Well, he doesn't need it, but okay. But he's also a knight, which means you're wearing a lot of armor, right?
Yes.
There you go. I say we give the indestructible guy.
Yeah, instead of taking knight's trappings, I took signature item, alderman, and wealth in order to have a saber and buckler.
Wait, you're not wearing plate mail?
No. It's too damn heavy.
Man, if I had my gun right
now. Okay.
Now, gotta wait for liberty, equality, and fraternity. That comes later.
Cool. All right. So, you guys set out. You make the journey up the North Road to Three Corners Fort, and then you turn west, traveling towards the Bisclarve lands, and you find yourselves, after about a day and a half, entering a dark and quite foreboding forest. Immediately, you can see why the forest got its name. Its nickname, the Haunted Wood or Haunted Forest, because the trees here, the tree cover here creates sort of an artificial dusk, even though you are trekking through it in the broadest part of the day. The main road is all but completely covered by the tree cover, the canopy, and the trees here grow uncommonly tall. You are trekking through this forest for about an hour or two when you come upon what appears to be signs of a struggle. Disturbances, dirt thrown on the road. You think you see some broken arrow shafts, and you turn a corner and you can see, taking up a large part of the center of the road, is the remains of a very ornate and beautifully crafted carriage that has since been smashed to pieces. The remains of several barrels of cargo spilled out across the road, containing what looked like salted fish and perhaps what were once fine clothing, but now have been dirtied and sullied by dirt, footprints, and what appears to be blood.
Uh-oh.
Our first sign of trouble.
Who bothers to destroy a carriage but doesn't loot it?
Precisely.
I was about to say the same thing. You'd figure bandits would be more precious about food, being as they can't go to civilization often and just buy it.
Well, looks like there's a monster. We can go home now and just tell them it was a monster the whole time.
I'm not sure that they'll accept merely that answer.
Oh. Sigh.
Well, there are fresh tracks here. I don't suppose anyone... Well, he's actually a tracker.
I am.
Oh, wonderful. You're just the person we need.
I mean, I actually have searching. It comes with being a messenger.
All right.
Oh,
at
no,
this
it comes
point-
with being, that's right. It comes with being a bat. And this is the forest, right?
yes.
I am it reminds me of the forest of my youth. Haunted, mysterious, people dying. It's very There's a reason why I don't live in Griforia.
Maybe a reason you don't live out here either.
So I gotta go with this, when I say no fear, that's kind of like, a metaphor.
Well, you don't have to worry about anything. You have wings. As soon as you see danger, you can simply fly away and I'll handle it.
Okay. I suppose we could penetrate the woods. I suppose I can go ahead and try to search. Did we ever load the freaking Roll20?
That's what we're working on that now.
I've got just actual dice here on my desk. That's my plan right now.
Well, I'd have to unpack my dice.
Would you like me to roll them for you?
No, I've called up the good old-fashioned, I might actually load, but no, there's the good old-fashioned webpage that has the D&D dice roller is still up after all these years. God bless you,
Nice.
wizards.com.
There you go.
Okay, so I assume I would roll mind and searching for this. Let's see. I have Dead Reckoning, Geography, and Hiking, so I won't get lost, but I don't think any of those three actually help unless the trail is incredibly long.
Well, this area. Okay, so you're searching for tracks. You said, right? Sorry, I'm a little distracted with the troubleshooting. So you're looking for tracks leading to or away from the carriage, the site of this incident. What were the additional gifts that you were thinking of using again?
I was suggesting that hiking is a bonus D12 on anything that involves going a very long distance, like if this trail was hours long.
Right. I don't think that actually applies here. The road here is pretty well trodden, so any tracks that you find would be kind of localized.
But I am a forest creature, so I'm assuming that.
Yeah, you could include your species die on the roll. That would be fine.
Okay. All right. Wow. Thank you, Wizards of the Coast Roller, because I have rolled an 8, a 6, and a 6.
Oh, dang.
We should
All
use
right.
this roller all the time.
There you go.
So that's 3 successes. That's 3 4s or better.
Yes, excellent. Okay, so here's what you can spy. Also, I guess I should ask this too. Typically in these games, you can do assisted rolls, right? So if someone wants to assist in someone else's roll, you can do that. There are other cases where you can do group rolls. I would say that this would be a case where if multiple people wanted to investigate together, they could. Basically, every success that you guys make cumulatively
Gives me a bonus D8. If another person succeeds, I get a bonus D8, unless they're a team player, in which case the bonus is even bigger. Team player is a gift in the game.
Right.
Correct. In the case of assistance.
But does anyone else have a good mind or a good search?
I could go ahead and just roll mind. I can't make it worse because I'm a team player.
Oh, then yeah.
Actually.
If you're a team player, you should almost always.
Right, so I have a D6 here. I'm going to roll it. 4. You get a
All right.
D12.
All right. Yeah, yours is
better.
What skill? Observation or searching?
Searching.
Okay, no. Not me.
Thanks for the assist. I rolled a 3, so it doesn't
Hey,
count.
I didn't help at all.
The important thing is your moral support.
Exactly. I have your back.
Just to
In
clarify
generic terms, you're probably pointing out things I've already discovered.
Mm-hmm.
but very helpfully. Sort of like,
I
oh,
know
look
how
at
to do this. Yeah. Well, it'll be a big expo dump to fill out another 20 pages of the book. Bulgarian fans, right? Someone else reads Bulgarian, right? Right?
No, but I do know how to fill up 20 pages.
Just for my own clarification, so in the case where someone is helping, I assume if they fail, right? If they botch a roll, then it hinders the
botching's if you roll all once. It's a critical failure.
Right, so
Failure,
I have a 1 in 6 chance of doing that.
If they just fail, it doesn't actually hurt it.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
All right. I only asked because of the
It encourages me to help even though I'm unskilled.
Right, except there's a gift in the game called Team Player that says you can never ruin by assisting. Yeah.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, cool. So, a total of 4 successes on this check. So here's what you find, Anushka, with the help of Gaston, sort of.
No, I didn't help. We rolled a 3.
You
it's only
tried.
three.
You tried.
3 successes is still pretty good. It's something only a master tracker could achieve.
By the way, check your roll 20. I think it might be loaded.
Do you fix
It
it?
might be.
It is.
I did not load it, no. I have been on various posting forums trying to find solutions, but apparently it just did it on its own.
No, I just crashed. I'm not in.
Well, reload it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pushing reload. It's I'm still not in, but working on it.
Well, I'm turning off this music just
It's
in
a Christmas
case.
miracle. I might
Try
actually
turning
be
off the music.
I just turned off the music, and apparently that's when
working now?
Raf reloaded. So,
All right, so there you go. So that was my bad. But now we know. Don't use the music. Okay. All right. So yes, what did your investigation turn up? Well, you found numerous prints in the ground, in the soft dirt. Some of them are barefoot footprints. Some of them are boot prints, probably armored boots. You detected that there were bloodstains that were leading down the road away from you, away from the site of the crash, about 15 feet. And the bloodstains mysteriously stop altogether, but there's no sign of a body. You also discovered among the wreckage a torn handkerchief with a house crest embroidered on it.
So, which one of you actually has heraldry?
Not I. I am a piss poor knight in that regard.
Someone has to have academics, though.
I'm looking at the Cheeling over there. You're a warlock. Yeah, well, what kind of, you mean you're up on this stuff, right?
I could
Not
be.
in the slightest.
Okay, you ready? I'm going to embarrass all of you because
Oh, boy.
I actually have academics.
Oh
Can't
yeah,
read, but smarter than everyone.
look at the
Well,
commenter.
I only have a D4 in it. But no, but I don't recognize.
Well, I've rolled 2 successes.
Yeah, you
Hey,
recognize.
there you go.
All right, excellent. So, Father Elrich has seen this before. It is the crest of a minor house, the Repense house, Repens.
It's Repens. It's a silent E.
Gotcha. Thank you. So yes, this handkerchief belonged to someone of House Repens, and but currently there is no one in evidence. I would like everybody in presence now, which is everybody, to give me mind and observation checks. And if your senses listen, you could add your species die into that roll as well. You're going to be rolling versus a target of 6. Target of 5, which means you want a 6 or better. Is that right?
Oop.
Yeah, that is absolutely right. The game was Ironclaw is an old-fashioned game, guys.
It has been a while since I've seen the DC actually change on that. Very interesting. But I do succeed.
All
We
right,
used to be
one
very
second.
obsessed with initiative.
Yeah, 1 success.
I'm clueless.
All right.
Look at all that dice. Back
So-
to roll in my usual way.
Okay, so as this investigation is taking place, Gaston, you have you're trying to help, but you're not being particularly useful. But as this is going on, you think you hear something, a very distinctive noise, something moving in the forest, something larger than the small lizards and basic animal life that mills about in the forests here. And you glance around at the trees surrounding you. You feel this nagging sensation that you're being watched, but it's too hard for you to pinpoint exactly where from where.
I see. And nobody else notices either. What I might do is just take to the air for a moment.
That's a very good idea. All right. So you give your wings a couple good flaps, and suddenly you are airborne. And from this height, you begin. You're peering around through the foliage. You can't get too high because again, there's a large canopy that kind of encloses this space. But once you get up airborne, you think for a brief moment you see a flash of fur, perhaps a large bushy tail that disappears into the canopy. It looks like it's heading north away from you all.
I see. I won't raise like a huge fuss over it because they are running away. So I'll go ahead, I'll land back down, and I'll go ahead and huddle people around to mention it's like, I think I just saw someone heading north. I think they were watching us. Maybe this was some sort of ambush that they were waiting to set up a second time.
So we're going home?
Not yet.
Follow them.
We need to follow them. Of course, they're in the trees. I'm not sure if that's an easy thing to track, though.
Well, you can look for kind of broken branches and that kind of stuff. But you're right. It's incredibly difficult to track. If they're lost to us, we should go home.
Well, they are heading to the north, and I can't help but notice we do have this north road here. Perhaps we should continue on.
Is it navigable by the carriage?
The north road will not be. It looks like someone has sort of shored this path up. It leads upwards into the woods. So it is an incline that is barely traversable due to the wooden planks that have been laid down. But certainly couldn't get the carriage up there.
Yeah, carriage roads are a big deal, too. You got to keep digging them out and pitting.
Right. We'll have to travel on foot from here.
I suppose we press on. 100 dinars is a lot of money.
All right, so just to be clear, the road to the west of you is the road that leads to the town of Mage Cross. The road to the north is barely a road. It looks more like a forest path. But that is the direction that this bushy-tailed spy has fled to.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys going to pursue the spy, or do you intend to continue to Mage Cross?
What do you think, my lord?
I think we should follow the spy. Clearly, he has some interest in this site, and we should find out what it is.
And then our pursuit begins.
All right, then.
So it sounds like it's a raccoon to me.
Yeah. I was going around sneaking.
Exactly. All right. Okay. You guys pursue into the forest to the north. Let's see. Now, I should confess that my D&D instincts are kicking in here, and I want people to make stealth checks and the like, but honestly, I'm not sure if that's something that is that common in Ironclaw. What do you guys think?
Stealth checks are extremely common, and I'm not making one because I don't have any stealth whatsoever.
You can even do combined checks, like, say, having us roll body and endurance and stealth to see if we move along quickly without tiring and are unnoticed.
I have to say, I kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
And if it goes badly, you can blame Griffin if it doesn't work out. But yeah, all right. So let's do that. I'd like to get a. This will be a normal target 3 roll from everyone, and let's do speed and stealth. And again, if your habitat is the forest, you can include your species die on this as well.
There we go.
I'm looking for 3 total successes on this to move silently.
I have achieved 1.
I should say yes,
I've
and
got
for the party, of course.
In general, one success means we could sneak up on someone who wasn't vigilant, but not someone who was.
Right.
But Arcaloid's just sitting here hitting every tree along the way.
And that just leaves Father Elric.
I will choose just to travel far behind everybody and not roll stealth.
All right,
Totally
that's fair.
fair.
Okay, so so you begin
So
to
Arcaloid's
pursue.
giving the game away.
Yeah. Connor, I assume that you're trying to adopt sort of a stealthy position here, a stealthy gait, but you just you can't help it. Every time you put your foot down, something else snaps and breaks. It's just certainly not your day. You get some dirty looks from the others in the party, I can imagine. And so when you make your way up to the end of this path, this forest path, and I'm gonna say let's move people around here to Theta.
I just
Oh,
gotta
okay.
drag the tokens out
Yeah,
now.
I didn't know if
Theta.
I didn't know if this was just the advanced people or not. So I didn't.
Oh, right. I guess in Theta's case, you probably want to be closer down, back down the
like
path.
here-ish or something.
And do we have a token? I think, I was about to make a token for Anushka, and then we ran out of time. But so I'm gonna actually just grab one for you, Anushka. It's gonna be generic. I apologize. But here you go, Anushka. You can be this purple token. All right.
Don't forget to give
okay.
control.
I'm sorry. That is great. You are totally right. I'm just gonna let everybody control that save. There we go. Okay. And all righty then. The other thing, here's another question quickly. I think
Sorry. Feel we're about to be ambushed.
Maybe a little bit, maybe somewhat. And now I'm losing it in my notes. So, traps. I'm going to say, let's do a speed and observation roll. And I kind of want it from the person. I think I want it from Connor. I think Connor didn't get any.
Oh yeah, I'm fucked. Oh, sorry about the.
Yeah, there's a tradition
Hey,
of
you got your one.
You get everyone gets one,
lowest
right?
Roller get hit by something, and he is the lowest roller.
Indeed, yeah. So that's kind of what I was going for there. So, all right, you guys are trekking along, trying to be stealthy. All of a sudden, Connor, one of the twigs that you step on that snaps makes quite a loud noise, and suddenly a large net comes up from beneath you, entangling you. You're hanging maybe 2 or 3 feet above the ground, but you are quite wrapped up. I want to treat this as a half-buried status effect, a status I've never used in the game before. But if I remember correctly, it means basically your speed becomes 0, and until you free yourself, which is a barehanded attack, you basically can't move, and I think you have people get advantage against attacking you. So we're going to ensnare you here. Boom. And then appearing in the woods surrounding you, in the trees, up in the trees, are several green-clad squirrels, all of whom are brandishing short bows. It seems that they have the draw on you. They're going to take the first action in this combat, but I would like all of you for initiative. And I believe you're all rolling. Let's see. What's the
Speed in mind.
That's
speed
right.
in mind? And I think you're all within short range.
Oof, I'm not ready.
6
Yep,
meters.
we have a grid with the exact measurements. So it should...
For the records, I asked if I could have a gun.
Right, indeed. All right. So I guess I should probably roll for them as well.
Yeah, yes, for the purposes of grid, is the grid 1 hex per meter?
1, yep.
Okay.
Uh, okay, ready. Ready. And ready. All right. So, here we go. We're going to give this a try. Okay. These guys have sort of established themselves in the trees, which means that they're a little bit hard to see. They're already set up, so each one of them are going to take aim and they're going to fire down onto your position. They're going to try to target Connor first, who currently they're going to get an advantage D8 for that, for Connor being entangled over here.
Okay. And
Connor is
So-
about to become a pincushion.
I rolled doubles on, well, not doubles, but I rolled 2 successes on initiative, so Connor's focus. He's going to interrupt to guard.
Perfect. All right. And guard, do you have the veteran? Is this a D8 guard?
I have veteran.
So is D12 guard?
Yes.
All right, excellent. And yes, so they're attacking with their short bows, so I guess you have dodge as your defense, correct?
Yes.
All right. So these guys are going to take 2d8 plus a third d8. They do have sharpshooter, and you are tied up. So 3d8 coming from the first guy. All right. And let's have your dodge roll. Ooh. All right, speed niner. Guard veteran 12. Okay, help me. Why do you get a die for knight errant? Just for my own edification there.
That's one of my skills as a knight errant is dodge.
Yeah, Arclight.
Oh,
likes
I
to
see.
Parse it weird.
I got
Yeah,
you.
Arcloy is an
including
actual
your-
fighter.
Gotcha. So they get to include your career die with your dodge die. Very nice. All right.
Yeah, because it specifically says it applies to dodge. So yeah, no, Arcloyd. If anyone was going to get caught, it should have been Arcloyd.
Yeah, there you go. And your guard was excellent with a 12. We're going to do that again with the next guy up here to the north. He's also going to shoot at you, Connor.
Yep.
Same situation, 3d8. 6 high, but
We
it's
tied.
blocked. But it's tied,
That's
and you're
tied.
restrained.
But Arcloyd, I think, has a buckler, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so Arcloyd on a tie, you need a shield to break the tie, and Arcloyd has one.
Oh, well, there you go then. All right. So the second arrow thuds
I didn't
into
know if
this
it was going
buckler.
to count. That's why I didn't put it in the defense. But yes, he does have one.
So there you go.
Perfect.
And you
Perfect.
need to let one last dodge.
This one is actually going to go at Anushka.
Ah!
I know.
What
Anushka-
range is this? Is it short range?
Good question. I believe so. Let's see. Yeah,
Or
I
did you
think
guys
it's within
have
short.
sharpshooters, right?
But these guys are sharpshooters, correct?
Yeah, it's like to be me. All right, I've got 6 to dodge, so go ahead and shoot me.
All right, shooting.
It's a hit.
And that's one.
Hit.
Is a hit.
So 1
let's
point
see.
hit. What's your
Yep,
damage bonus for a bow?
It's +0, but it is critical.
Well, critical means you need 2 successes, but you only got 1, so I just take a
Right,
1
correct.
point hit.
All right.
So I'm
take 1
lucky.
point of
Could have
damage.
been worse. Much
Could have been a
worse.
lot worse. But yes. So you're hurt, Anushka.
Oh no,
this arrow
actually,
decrypts you.
after taking the 1 point hit, I can now roll my soak.
Oh, correct.
Every
Totally
4
forgot.
or better on my soak will reduce this by 1. Fortunately, my soak is low. Fortunately, it works. So I'm just stunned. I'm sent reeling.
Sent reeling. Excellent. All right.
Told you this isn't my first rodeo. Me on my
Yeah.
rodeo.
All right. Okay, so that takes care of. Actually, I guess they all have other actions, which they probably should have used to aim, but too late for that now. So I think they're each going to just kind of move a
Immediately
little
try
bit
to go
further
back
away.
into hiding, ambush.
Ambush again. I think rather than introduce a bunch more rolls to that, I'm going to have them just sort of put a little bit more space here. So dash is an action. That's correct.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, they have a dash stride of 3. I'm going to assume they're moving through the canopy, so even if it doesn't start in a tree, they're going to be in a tree. 1, 2, 3. We're going to move this guy 1, 2, 3, and this guy 1, 2, 3. All right, and now it is the party's action.
Yeah, they're all squirrels, so they can just do that.
Yeah, they've got fast climber and jump dice.
Well, Arcloid, you actually weren't even hit, were you?
Nope.
So I'm completely mobile and can move in 3 dimensions, and I'm the one who got shot.
That's right.
I'm gonna dash forward 6,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna rally Anushka, since you're reeling.
Say something inspiring.
I'm gonna need you to do better. I know you can do better. That is will and leadership, isn't it?
Will and leadership.
Correct.
That's right.
Okay, you got 2 successes on that.
Yep, that's enough to remove my reeling, and that's the only bad thing on me.
Yeah, and I don't
Yep.
have the ability to give you stuff, so that's it. You're better than
Well,
this.
I can't think of anything better to do than free Arcloid, who actually knows how to fight. So I'm going to move, since I can fly, to where the rope is that's keeping Arcloid suspended, and I will attack it.
I like that.
Yes, using claws will do more damage, so I'll go ahead and claw at it.
Okay, now here's a question. Based on the this is just based on the text for the half buried. It has you doing an attack against a target value of a D8. When you're attacking inanimate objects, does it make sense to roll for it or to set a straight value?
It
What do you
does
think?
because the amount of damage I do is based on how high I roll.
Right. Okay. So then let's do that.
So-
I'm going to say
so
this is not going to be hard though. So I'm going to roll a D6.
Yeah. So as you can see here, I've only rolled a 3 and a 2. So but you rolled a 1.
My
So
rope
good
botched.
news. You botched, which gives me +1 damage, and my 3 and my 2 are higher. So I do 3 points of damage to the rope. So I might actually get in.
Yeah, I think that's more than enough to sever the rope.
All right.
Connor, you hit the ground.
Oh wow.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to change your half buried to just knocked down.
Yep. And that's me. I'm done.
Excellent. Okay, so we still have Connor, we still have Gaston to act.
All right. How much movement does it cost to stand back up, or is it your whole movement action?
It's
Actually an
fun
action.
unless you're an acrobat, which I don't think you are. What species are you?
Raccoon, so not an acrobat.
Nope.
All right. So standing and guarding.
All right, excellent. You gather your wits about you. I'm going to give you a shield. Here you go. Okay.
I use a green dot for guarding.
Oh, that's fine. If you guys have a system, just let me know what it is, but we're good to go. And Gaston, what's the play here?
Let's see. I've been trying to think of it for a little bit, and well, hey, everyone's really close to me. This is the perfect time for me to guard, which also gives everyone a supernatural shield. I think even the
Cool.
Queeling is within 4 meters, and so everyone now has an extra D8.
Oh, that is excellent. Okay.
The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my sword into my hand. And that's it.
All right. So, can you describe a little bit what this magical effect looks for me, for my own edification?
It is a thaumaturgy ability. As I guard, I begin to shine with a light that comes from nowhere, becoming very, very obvious in this dark forest, I think. But as this light from nowhere encompasses me, there is a invisible force shield that covers everyone else. That's the way it explicitly describes it. Just it's not really quite visible. Maybe there's a shimmer. Maybe there's a little bit of light on them too.
If I had to describe it, you ever play a video game and notice that when your character, like in Dark Souls, your Dark Souls character somehow just emits light because they exist?
Right. So a little bit more like me. They are also slightly illuminated, but they don't have 4 squares of light around them right
Yeah,
now.
thaumaturgy specifically like very invisible. It's just attacks just miss us.
Yep.
And everyone goes, wait, attacks are
yeah.
missing them. Wait, a weirdo in pajamas, get him.
Yeah, so from their perspective, I pull out a sword, go into guard stance, and then the light from the heavens illuminate me.
I mean, a more scientifically minded person might think, okay, you're just going to stand there and guard for a bit. I'm going to fly up as high as I can to see how high this light goes.
Mm-hmm. I probably tested that a few times.
It doesn't come from the heavens; it comes from
It
you.
comes
It's
from
like
nowhere.
I use the video game metaphor where it like
Exactly.
I don't know if it bothers anyone else, but like I'm wandering on Dark Souls and there's a spotlight on me. It's like, where's this coming from?
It's just because you're perfect. That's all. All right, but
Yeah.
I've done my turn.
All right, excellent. So we're turning the initiative back over to the squirrels, who seem like they're not done with you quite yet. This guy to the northeast over here is going to aim and take a shot.
He
at,
probably needs to reload.
Oh, that's correct. Thank you. So he's not going to aim. He's going to reload, draw another bow from his quiver, take a shot at Father Elrich over here. Father Elrich.
Yeah, if they're outlaws, I think they don't actually have aiming on the draw, do they? As a gift?
Not these guys. I didn't grab.
Yeah,
that for them.
they have to reload and then shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Aiming
I'll
on the draws,
remember that for
especially
next
lets
time.
you aim while you reload, but they don't have that, so they would have to reload and shoot.
Yeah.
Enjoy your
Okay.
Cover D8.
Yeah. And I'm
Guess they
going to
also have-
say they have your magical shield, correct?
That's right. They're also at a distance, so I think someone's probably going to get an extra D8 too.
I'm measuring over here. I think everybody's within short, which because these guys do have sharpshooter.
Oh, they do. Yeah, I think that's right. We covered that, didn't we? Awesome.
That's okay. Listen, this is all good for my
It's good for us to all
understanding.
cover, make sure we all know exactly what's going on, and that's
Refresh
so
the
we can
viewer.
actually aim.
Yeah. All right. So I'm sorry. Father Eldritch, we're rolling. It's going to be
That's Father Elrich.
Elrich or Elric?
Elrich.
Elrich. Father Elrich, we're going to attack. I believe this is just 2d8. Here we go. And not very good. All right. They missed by a mile. These other two are actually... Nah, they're feeling okay. They reloaded. They're going to shoot as well. So let's do this guy at you, Father Elrich. Once again, 2d8. Much better, but not good enough. And this last guy is going to take a shot now at Gaston for 2d8. 4 high.
Okay, let me go ahead and get my dodge ready.
And for those watching, and again to refresh my memory, when attacking with ranged attacks, generally dodge is the only defense available. But
Yep.
you can claim cover dice, correct?
Generally, yeah. None of us built the counter shooter.